NASCAR has been known to be consistently inconsistent. What do I mean by that? For those of you who do not know, there are NASCAR officials in race control that call the race. They call cautions, they call penalties, they call suspensions, fines, etc. However, they tend to be very inconsistent with their calls. I'm not saying as much today as it was 10, 15 years ago, but I'll give you some examples. Why is this a clean pass? It's below the yellow line, which is illegal. But 5 years later, Regan Smith does the exact same thing. He gets penalized for it and loses the race that he should have won. Jeff Gordon, my favorite driver ever, should have been suspended for this. He purposely took out championship contender Clint Bowyer. No penalty. 3 years later, Matt Kenseth does the exact same thing to Joey Logano. 2-race suspension. Casey Kane had to speed up to avoid a spinning Michael Annett on pit road. Oh, he gets a speeding penalty. A few years later, a couple cars come flying down Daytona pit road because they were trying to avoid a wreck. No penalty. That's what I mean. A call that should have been this way is that way. A call that should have been that way is this way. There's also the infamous debris caution. If races got a little too strung out, NASCAR would throw a yellow, not because of a hazard, but they would say there's a piece of debris on the racetrack. The broadcast would never show it. It was all a plan just to get the field all bunched up back together for a restart. Because when the cars are closer together, more chaos happens. It sacrifices legitimacy for entertainment. One race that's always been in the back of my mind since it aired, even though it's been nearly a decade now, and this race is the 2017 Federated Auto Parts 400 at Richmond Raceway. I was really just like, wow, the officiating was really bad in this race. Not just one bad call, there was multiple bad calls. And I feel like not many people talk about this race either. September 9th, 2017. This is the final race before the playoffs. Martin Truex Jr. had 4 wins this year, was racking up stage points like crazy, already had the regular season championship locked. If you don't know, based on how you do in the regular season, you get bonus points going into the playoff to help you advance. Matt Kenseth's a driver who has not won a race this year. He looks pretty good in points, but he needs a really good day. He starts on pole. Also, Clint Bowyer and Joey Logano are 2 pretty popular names who are in a must-win situation. If they don't win the race tonight, they do not have a playoff berth. There was not 1, not 2, but 3 instances of NASCAR having really, really bad officiating in this race.
Kenseth hasn't won in 2017. Can he change that tonight? Green flags in the air from Richmond.
Matt Kenseth takes the field to green and leads relatively early. Really good car. Lap 35. First caution of the night. Landon Castle gets in the wall. Okay, that's a caution. Bam. Slam outside wall. Debris flying. Yes. Race restarts. Kenseth and Truex are battling for the race lead. Average race so far. And a caution comes out.
And some smoke coming out of the 20 there. A caution has come out. Looked like it was smoke out of the back of the 20, but
yeah, it had that whisper around it. It definitely something looked off for sure, Rick.
Race leader, Matt Kenseth, look at this. Locks the brakes up going into the turn.
Is there a car in the wall? No. Is there a car parked on the racetrack? No. Is there a car flipped over? No. Is there a fire? No. Matt Kenseth simply locked up his left front tire, caused a little bit of smoke, and NASCAR instantly thought it was like a spin, and they just threw the caution. You're probably thinking, oh, well, they were just playing it safe. It could have been a car spinning. It could have been leaking oil. But that was not the case. It was just Matt Kenseth simply making a slight inconsequential mistake, locking up the left front tire, battling for the lead with Truex. And this ultimately, them calling this caution that didn't need to be a caution, kind of hurt Matt Kenseth because they would restart with a few laps to go on the stage, and due to pit strategy, Kenseth would get stuck behind slower cars on older tires. Kyle Busch would win stage 1, and Kenseth lost 3 spots as a result. Again, Kenseth needs every point he can get. Strike 1. Stage 2 is actually relatively clean. Truex is passing a lot of cars. Fastest car of the night for sure, the 78. He passes Kyle Larson. He passes Kyle Busch. And Truex would dominate the rest of Stage 2. Nothing of note there. Stage 3. Truex is back in the lead, looking for his 5th win of the season, just adding to his crazy playoff total. Then strike 2 happens. Danica Patrick self-spins on lap 258, which sets up a round of pit stops. This was one of the worst miscommunications or officiated moments, whatever you want to call it, I've personally seen. As the field comes down pit road, the safety trucks are not where they're supposed to be. They're on the entrance to pit road. And since the drivers have no idea what the hell's going on, they all check up trying to avoid. It's like a last second, like, oh my God, what are they doing there? And due to this stack up, Kenseth, Boyer, and Logano all get race impacting damage. Kenseth, who needs a good run tonight, who was having a great race. Matt Kenseth's car gets so much damage he has to go behind the wall.
And a problem for the 20 of Kenseth.
Oh, they're going behind the wall. You heard on the radiator, on the radio, is it the radiator or the oil cooler? So there must be a leak of some sort. You see the nose crushed in right here. I think it happened coming to pit road, didn't it, Jeff?
Mechanical. Pull it over here behind the wall.
They could go around.
Almost covering the entire commitment line so the cars couldn't get to the inside of that box.
If there would be a new winner outside the top 16 in points, Matt Kenseth would have missed the playoffs. Luckily, it didn't turn out that way. This little picture right here showcases Dale Jr. trying some crazy pit strategy. If he would have won, look how close Kenseth was to that cutoff line. If McMurray gains a couple spots, Kenseth, who had an amazing night going, will be knocked out of the playoffs. And this was during an era that despite where you were in points, if you just got that one win, it propels you into the playoffs no matter what. And Kenseth had an okay year, but he didn't get that win. Logano and Boyer didn't either. Race restarts, Truex loses a couple spots on pit road, such a fast car, passes Kyle Larson again, passes everybody, was set sail, pit stops occur, Truex clean pit stop, he waited a little bit longer to pit because he had such a big lead, now he's on fresher tires, just pulling away. He has a near 4-second lead on Kyle Larson. Uncontested, looks like Truex is about to win another dominant race in 2017, as long as there's no caution.
Huge lead as a caution comes out with under 4 to go. Now you can't count on that possibility of a sure win for Martin Truex Jr. There will be a restart.
Yeah, Rick, I looked up. The 15 was very, very slow. Derek Cope off turn 4, running high down the front stretch. It was hard to see if he had a tire down or if he just had an issue. He was definitely off their pace there down the front stretch.
Strike 3. 57-year-old Derek Cope overshoots the corner just a little bit, scrapes the outside wall, no debris drops. You could barely even tell there's damage on his car. And he got going right again. It wasn't like he was super slow. NASCAR threw the caution. Did this need to be a caution? No. It should not have been a caution, but it's pretty clear. NASCAR's done this in the past. They'll throw a late race yellow that doesn't need to be a yellow or just some debris caution just to make the ending of the race more excited. So Truex's lead is gone. 4 seconds. Dominant race. And due to this caution that did not have to be a caution, it would set up an overtime restart in which Truex, who had slow pit stops all night, would lose the lead to Kyle Larson.
He's been very happy with it and does not want any changes. He went around that 22 car and is still in second. Actually fell back one spot into second, Rick. How about that?
Yeah, the 41 was able to get off pit road third, but it was a 42 of Kyle Larson who wins the race off of pit road. That could be a possible winning moment for Kyle Larson.
And then the restart would happen. Kyle Larson takes the lead, takes the white flag, and to add insult to injury, Truex Jr. gets dumped by Denny Hamlin.
Little tire smoke coming out of the 18 as he was hard into turns 1 and 2. The 42 has cleared the 78. Going through 3 and 4. One more time around when they get the white flag. Kyle Larson out in front at Richmond. And up into the wall goes the 78 hard. Caution will come out. Kyle Larson will be the winner.
Kyle Larson would go on to win the race, his 4th win of the year. While Truex still may have locked up the regular season championship. He just lost a race he should have won. NASCAR took this win away from him. And the funniest part was that the post-race interview, Truex was just not happy. No one on that team was happy. Cole Pern was not happy. They were like, we just got screwed out of a win.
2017, but he did clinch the regular season championship. And so now let's go now to Marty Snyder.
And there is some hardware that goes along with that regular season championship, the first ever official regular season championship for NASCAR. To do the honors is Brent Dewar, the president of NASCAR. Brent.
Marty, Martin, Cole, Barney, Joe, incredible season. You know, our fans asked us to recognize performance throughout the season and throughout the race. You guys have done that. Most laps led, most stage wins, most wins. Congratulations on behalf of NASCAR for an incredible season, and 15 additional bonus points for the playoffs, and to present our inaugural regular season championship trophy. Well deserved. Congrats in the playoffs.
Thanks, sir. Thank you.
And that's what you were after at the beginning of the season, wasn't it, Martin?
Yeah, it's definitely what we set out to get, and you know, we hope to get a few more wins along the way. And tonight was a little tough, so it's a little hard to be too excited, but just really proud of everybody on this team and the position they put me in, the race cars they put me in every week, and Barney for giving us all the tools we need and all our partners. It's been a dream come true, really, this season, and hopefully we can keep it going for 10 more.
NASCAR sometimes gets too trigger happy on the caution button just to spice things up. And this race, with these 3 massive instances of poor race officiating and just bad judgment, bad calls, it shows how many drivers suffer from poor officiating. Clint Bowyer, Kenseth, and Logano all got damage that they would never be able to recover from. Bowyer and Logano did not make the playoffs that year. Matt Kenseth could have missed the playoffs. And most importantly, Martin Truex, who was on track to win a very well-deserved race, it gets stripped away due to a caution that does not need to be a caution. Despite Truex's night going from bad to worse and him basically getting robbed of a win, he would still go on an absolute tear in the playoffs to win his first and only Cup Series championship. He would win 4 races in a 10-race span, including the finale, ending an 8-win historical dominant season with 19 stage wins. Congratulations for Truex. What a run. So ultimately, this race did not mean too much for Truex in the grand scheme of things. But it's the principle. They did not need that caution. I know I just did a race from 2017 with Daytona, but I wanted to do a video touching on NASCAR officiating, and this was the first race that came to mind. I understand that it's human error. There's no question that there was a time that NASCAR would play God a little bit, and they would try to manipulate races just for our entertainment to appeal to that casual fan. But traditional fans like myself, we prefer racing over artificial chaos. And since NASCAR recently, with bringing back a better points format, adding more horsepower, being better with the officiating, they're not calling cautions as rapid fire anymore for no reason, more fans are starting to watch again. Because we want to see organic racing. We want to see a series we could take seriously, not some clown show. What did you guys think of the 2017 Federated Auto Parts 400? I didn't like it too much. Thank you once again for tuning in. I'm Jake, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care.